Hey, what's up, everybody? You're listening to the IDKWITA podcast. My name's Nick Vasquez, and I don't know what I'm talking about. Hope everybody's having a wonderful day today, man. Thank you guys for listening. I appreciate y'all for if you are listening. I was checking out the news today. I was on Twitter. I was actually looking up like some Google News. Got a few things I want to talk about. We got some Cowboys news. You know what I'm saying? They're all in the news after losing to the Packers. A little bit of Fortnite news, something going on with Fortnite or about a lawsuit having to do with them being just as addictive. The lawsuit has to do apparently with the Fortnite game being just as addictive as cocaine. And I also seen a story about 9 states that might vote to legalize marijuana in 2020. I don't know. Maybe we'll get to that. I will say that I did not see Texas on the list, so I don't know. That's kind of why I was interested in it. I was like, maybe Texas is on that list. Let me look. They weren't. I don't know. We'll see. But well, let's get into it, man. The first story here today is Yahoo News. Oh, it's Bleacher Report. I swear it was. It's purple. I thought it was Yahoo News. It's purple. I guess it's just advertising Yahoo News, Yahoo Sports. But anyways, first story: should the Dallas Cowboys be worried about Dak Prescott? Before I actually get into this story, let me give some of my thoughts on Sunday's game. You know what I'm saying? I watch football. I'm not an expert. But I've got general knowledge. I've been watching the Cowboys for a really long time. I was always a huge Tony Romo fan. I loved him. You know what I'm saying? In my opinion, he's the greatest Dallas Cowboys quarterback of all time as far as skill goes. Obviously, he didn't have the playoff wins and he didn't have the championships, but I mean, his skill and his toughness, in my opinion, cannot be denied. There's no way you can say that man didn't know how to play football or that he wasn't good at football or even great at football. And in my opinion, one of the greatest of all time. He knew how to read defenses. He was an accurate passer. He struggled through most of his career. Not to say that he never had talent around him, but he never had talent consistently. He never had consistent talent. He had Des Bryant, who was a little streaky. The most consistent, dependent player he had on his offense was Jason Witten. At some point he had running backs like Marion Barber. Marion Barber was probably, I would say, the best running back he had in his career. I'm not even sure how much he actually played with Zeke. Obviously, he played with Zeke. Did he? No, I don't even think no, he never really got to play with Zeke, right? Was that the rookie year? Was that Zeke's rookie year when he got hurt? I'm pretty sure it was. Dak and Zeke came in together. Yeah, so he never got to play with Zeke. So yeah, Marion Barber was the best. I can't think of a better running back that he played with than Marion Barber. Okay, he played with Julius Jones. I'm not sure if Julius Jones was better than Marion Barber though. I think we had higher hopes for him. I don't know. I really don't know, man. Julius Jones was a good running back, but I think we all thought he was going to be better than he actually was. But he was never in the situation that Dak's been in. He never had a team. Dak landed in Dallas, and Dak has been surrounded by talent on both sides of the ball from the very beginning. Dak has had a stacked offensive line from the very beginning. Dak's team has been stacked with offensive skill position players from the very beginning, like good skill position players from the very beginning. He's got a stacked defense. This team has talent everywhere. I would say the biggest problem right now seems to be chemistry. Like they can't all get on the. Everybody's not on the same page. You know what I'm saying? They're young. This team is young and full of talent, but it's just not clicking. And Dak obviously is not a very accurate passer, so that's a huge problem. Honestly, that's a huge problem. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't react well to real pressure from good teams. When good defenses put real pressure on him, he panics. And obviously there were O-line troubles this Sunday against the Packers, and it was obvious and it affected him in a major way. So I mean, as great as everybody wants to pretend that Dak is, he's really not. He's not great. He's not a bad quarterback, but he's not great. This is his 4th year, man. He's played 3 full seasons. You know what I'm saying? And he's not getting any better. He hasn't gotten any better at reading defenses. His accuracy is like, I guess, a little bit better. Not really. It's not consistent. He's not consistent enough. I'm not seeing him go out and do things that great quarterbacks do on a regular basis. You know what I'm saying? And it's not like it's all on him. He's not, you know what I'm saying? He's not, this isn't a team that any one player has to carry. This is a team with talent everywhere. You got guys, if you look at the offense, Dak is a good quarterback. You got Zeke, who is one of the best in the league. You got Jason Witten, who is a talented veteran. Jason Witten is a highly talented veteran. You know what I'm saying? So you got this guy who's been playing for a long time, has the knowledge and has the skill. Obviously, skill diminishes, talent diminishes. Physical capabilities diminish. But I mean, he's still great. And then you got who's the new tight end? Can't even think of his name. But that guy, man, that's the tight end that I've been, people close to me know that I've been saying for a while. Anybody who I ever talked to about football, like in person, friends, family, I'm sure have heard me say that we need a playmaking tight end. You know what I'm saying? Like a Jason Witten is a playmaking tight end, but we needed a guy who could go deep and make big plays, like somebody comparable to Gronk. Obviously, this guy's not on that level, but somebody comparable to Gronk. What's the other guy? Jimmy Graham. Guys like that who are gonna make big receiving plays. Jason Witten was a great all-around guy, and he had dependable hands, but he was dependable, and he'd catch the ball when you needed him to, but he wasn't the guy who was doing spectacular stuff every week. Jason Witten was reliable, and he was going to do what you needed him to do every game. You know what I'm saying? But the game is different than it was when Jason Witten started. So now that tight end position is less about, obviously you do want a guy who can block, but you really want a guy who's going to go up, somebody, a receiving tight end. You need a guy who's a receiving tight end who's going to make great receiving plays. And that feels weird to say about Jason Witten. You know what I'm saying? It's just that he's getting older. He's not a deep threat. I don't think Jason Witten's a deep threat. His speed and his skill comes from, he's a thinking man's player. You know what I'm saying? Jason Witten was a really smart player. So if he can, what's the guy's, Jarwin? Is that the new tight end, Jarwin? Blake Jarwin? I can't even think of it. I've got Google right here. I think his name is Blake Jarwin, right? Yeah, Blake Jarwin. That's got to be him. Yeah, and this guy, he's good, man. This guy's good. This guy's a good receiving, and if he can hang around Jason Witten for a couple of years, I don't know if this is going to be Witten's last year or if he'll or if he's gonna hang out for a couple of years. Maybe they can bring him on as a tight end coach. That'd be amazing. I don't know if he wants to do that. Maybe he just wants to go into TV or something, which I'm sure he'd be really good at. But to have him around as a mentor and a success, he's had a successful career as far as his individual accomplishments, and the kind of player he is. For him to hang out, stick around, and to teach guys like Blake Jarwin how to use their bodies, how to block, stuff like that. Teach him the work ethic, because Blake Jarwin's good, man. Blake Jarwin is looking like a young star. You know what I'm saying? Makes big catches. He's doing good so far. You know what I'm saying? He's a guy that if you're in fantasy, you could pick him up as a flex. Put him at your tight. Tight end is so weird as far as fantasy football goes. As far as I played fantasy football like 2 years in a row. I haven't played it much, but I learned a lot. Honestly, I learned a lot about football playing fantasy football because it got me into watching other teams. You know what I'm saying? And I seen what other teams were doing. I seen what other players on other teams were doing. I seen, there's a difference between someone being a good fantasy player and someone being a good player in real life. But a tight end position is usually someone where if they're good in real life, they're going to be a good fantasy player. And, well, maybe. I don't know. Intangibles don't show up in fantasy football. I will say that. So just because someone sucks on your fantasy team doesn't mean they suck in real life or that they're not really good in real life. It just means that their numbers aren't showing up. Their impact on the game is not showing up in the stats. For instance, a good blocking tight end is not going to do you any good on your fantasy team. You know what I'm saying? Because blocks, tight ends don't get points for blocks, man. Those intangibles don't show up. You know what I'm saying? But as of right now, man, it just looks like the best thing we can take from this season so far is that the Cowboys have beat the teams that they're supposed to beat. You know what I'm saying? I don't think anybody was expecting the Cowboys to come out and go undefeated. Because they're young, as talented as they are, youth has its positives and its negatives, and obviously the negative with youth is experience. You know what I'm saying? And not having encountered sometimes guys haven't been through the struggle. You know what I'm saying? So it takes a few years to go through those struggles and learn from your failures and, get better. But fuck, man. Dak's been. This is his 4th year. And if he doesn't. It doesn't. The game against Green Bay was bad. Was really bad. I felt like the game against the Saints wasn't that bad for the team as a whole. The defense obviously had a great game against the Saints, even though what's his name? Wow, what the fuck is wrong with me today? Who's the fucking Saints quarterback? It was Teddy Bridgewater started the game against the Cowboys. Drew Brees didn't play, but we should have won the game against the Saints. And we didn't win because the Dallas Cowboys offense couldn't score one more touch. They didn't do good. They didn't play a good game. They had several possessions in a row where they did not score. And I remember saying, I talked about this a couple episodes ago. I remember saying, first team to score a touchdown is going to win this game. And after I said that, I looked up and the Saints were up by 6. Even though they hadn't scored a touchdown, They were up by the points equal to a touchdown. And I was kind of like, shit. Like, is that the same thing? Like, in my head, I was like, is that the same thing? They're up by 6. They're up by a touchdown without no extra point. They're up by a touchdown minus the extra point. And then the Cowboys scored a touchdown. Zeke scored a touchdown. Dak didn't throw a touchdown. If Zeke could have scored a touchdown and Dak could have thrown a touchdown, we would have won that game. But he didn't. So, I mean, I don't know, man. Obviously, if as a Cowboys fan, if you don't realize that the first 3 teams we played were bad and that we were supposed to win those games, well, then what the fuck are you doing, man? What are you looking at? Like, come on. Don't be a fucking... All fucking football fans are fucking blind ass, biased football fans. Everybody's biased towards their team, and honestly, it's annoying. It's annoying, man. I've never really been like that. You know what I'm saying? I don't think I've ever just been, And I can admit that the reason... From the beginning, the reason I didn't like Dak is because I knew that he wasn't as good as Romo. And I knew that was Romo's year. And fucking Romo got hurt. And that fucking sucks. Because that's what happens when you play so long with pieced together bad O-lines. And you're always under pressure. Until they started drafting linemen, that O-line was fucking disgusting. You know what I'm saying? Like, it wasn't good. It was terrible. It was gross. And once they started drafting linemen, they drafted Tyron, they drafted Frederick, they drafted Tyron Smith, Travis Frederick. I don't remember who else they drafted, but once they started drafting linemen in early in the draft, in the first, second, third, whatever, fourth round, I don't know. That's when that line, they were building that team for Romo, but the fucking problem is they started too late, man. They started too fucking late. He was broken by then. And then fucking Dak comes in, you know what I'm saying? Catches lightning in a fucking bottle his rookie year. Falls into the perfect situation. Is able to bust us, is able to drive the bus to 13-3, make the playoffs, get the bye, and then loses in the first round. Second round, because we got the bye, but loses the first game of the playoffs. And that's, like I said, that's nothing that Romo hadn't done before. Romo had already done that. Romo had already been in that situation where he was on a winning team, made the playoffs, and then got bounced in the first game. This was, having had that experience, having played with bad teams, having played with good teams, having had good seasons and bad seasons. I don't think Romo ever had a losing season. I think, he had a lot of 8-8s, which he carried those teams to 8-8. If you don't fucking see that, like, I don't know what the fuck, man. I mean, what would we do? You know what the fuck would happen if someone scored fucking 50 something points against us now? We would lose by like fucking 30 or 40 points. Romo had a fucking game against the Denver Broncos. When was it? In like fucking 2013 or something? Where he threw like 5 fucking touchdowns, outplayed fucking Peyton Manning, and they still fucking lost. In his career, Romo played with the worst Dallas Cowboys defense of all time, the worst defense in NFL history. He played with the worst defense in Cowboys history and the worst defense in NFL history. He also had some of the worst O-lines ever. He never had a team that was like this. He never had a team anywhere near anything that Dak has ever played on his entire career. Like, these whole 3 years, Dak has played on this stacked team. And he just needs to do enough. Like, you don't need to make big, huge plays, dude. You don't. Like, the game is not depending on you. The game is depending on you just not fucking up. You just got to do enough and just don't fuck up too much. And he's not doing that. And it's fucking frustrating. And Romo would go out there and make fucking magic happen, and we would still fucking lose. You know? I mean, shit, man. And I know what the fuck I sound like sitting here 4 years later talking about fucking Tony Romo. But I'm always going to have a chip on my shoulder against Dak because he cost Romo his Super Bowl. Dak and the Cowboys, fuck, man, even Jerry Jones, as much as I like Jerry, just because Jerry so don't give a fuck. And he's supposed to be. You know what I'm saying? Jerry's got that fuck you money, so fuck it. He should be able to do whatever the fuck he wants. But it sucks. It still fucking sucks because it took them so long to actually start building a team that Romo could actually play with. That Romo could win a championship with. That's what, you know what I'm saying? It took them so long to build a team that Romo could build a championship that by the time they did it, he was riddled with injuries and he was fucking broken and he couldn't stay healthy. And that's not on Dak. I'll admit that. But fuck, man, Dak comes in like a fucking savior, has this amazing rookie season, and then that's fucking it. That was it. He hasn't done shit since then. Like, he made the playoffs again. He made the playoffs again, but he lost again. Like, made the playoffs, made it past the bye. He's got one playoff win, just like Romo did. You know what I'm saying? I mean, fuck, man. He's not our guy. He's not it. I don't think the Cowboys will ever win a championship with Dak. And you know what? I hope I'm fucking wrong. I hope fucking Dak comes back. Like, I was waiting for them. I was waiting for the Cowboys to play a tough team. I was waiting for them to get slapped around a bit because I wanted to see who they really are. I wanted to see how good they really are. I wanted to see how tough I wanted to see how good they really were, how tough they really were. What were they going to do when they were facing adversity? And right now, they're fucking failing. They're crumbling. They're crumbling under pressure. And Dak most of all. You know what I'm saying? When fucking teams know that they don't have to worry about the fucking the quarterback is not an issue. When teams know the quarterback is not a threat, like all they got to do is shut down the fucking running game. And then they know, like, playing against the Packers knew that the fucking O-line wasn't 100%. I mean, fuck, man. I don't understand. And obviously people aren't happy with fucking Jason Garrett. I've never liked Jason Garrett. Fuck, I'd bring back fucking, fuck is his name? The fucking defensive guy. Is he playing for the Rams now? Bring him back, man. Sign Jay Gruden. Fuck, the Redskins fired him. Can we fire Jason Garrett and sign Jay Gruden? Please, can we please not give Dak $40 million? Jerry, Steven, I mean, I doubt you're listening to this. Can you please not pay Dak 30, 40, or 30 mil? Please don't give him more than 20. You know what I'm saying? He's not worth more than fucking Ezekiel Elliott. I don't care what anybody says. Ezekiel Elliott was underpaid in my opinion, even though it was the biggest fucking contract ever for a running back. Running backs are underpaid, man, especially running back like Zeke. You know, Dak Prescott is not worth more to this team than Ezekiel Elliott. You know what I'm saying? Bench fucking Dak. I don't give a fuck. Bench him. Like, you can bench Dak. You know what I'm saying? and let the other guy go out there and just fucking, whatever. Or go back to dinking and dunking it. Stop trying to go deep. Dak can't do that shit. Start getting rid of the ball fasting and do the same shit that you were doing in the first season. You know what I'm saying? Let's go back to this short game. Let's go back to running the ball all the time. Let's fucking shit. Right now, Dak doesn't look like what we need, man. Let's read this story. Should the Dallas Cowboys be worried about Dak Prescott? When Dallas Cowboys quarterback Dak Prescott struggled last week in New Orleans, it was argued by some that he fell victim to the Superdome, where it's loud and wild and a lot of quarterbacks have died a slow death. Holy shit. Then came Prescott's performance against the Green Bay Packers on Sunday. Again, he looked off. No, the Cowboys' 34-24 loss wasn't all on Prescott. Packers running back Aaron Jones had 4 billion yards and 70 touchdowns. Okay, he actually had 182 yards from scrimmage and 4 touchdowns, but it seemed like a lot more. Prescott and running back Ezekiel Elliott, on the other hand, were mostly stuffed by a tremendous and still underrated Green Bay defense. I think people know that the Packers aren't bad. Have the Packers, in the Aaron Rodgers era, have the Packers ever been bad? Have the Packers ever really been bad? I'm not saying that they haven't struggled, but I mean, how often do they miss the playoffs? You know what I'm saying? They're making it to the playoffs. I think they've made a couple of deep runs. I mean, they're not a bad team. Aaron Rodgers is probably the greatest quarterback in the NFL right now. He's, probably one of the most accurate. You know what I'm saying? He's incredibly accurate. He's insane. Like, I think people know that Aaron Rodgers is like pretty much the best quarterback in the NFL. You know what I'm saying? Fuck all those Patriots fans who want to say about Tom Brady. Tom Brady's a good quarterback. Tom Brady is a great quarterback. There's no denying that. Tom Brady is really smart. There's no denying that. But I think most people agree that Aaron Rodgers is pretty much the greatest quarterback in the best quarterback in the NFL right now. I was talking to people at work about this last night, man, and they were talking about the season, and they were talking about the Packers, and they were like, man, what's the deal with the Packers? Like, sometimes they're good, sometimes they're not. And I was like, look, the Packers win when Aaron Rodgers decides they win. You know what I'm saying? Remember a few years ago when they were struggling, and then Packers fans were like, oh my God, what's going on? Blah, blah, blah. And then Aaron Rodgers came out and was like, hey, fucking relax. Do you ever see Aaron Rodgers worried? Like, does Aaron Rodgers ever look stressed? No, because he knows what the fuck he can do. You know what I'm saying? Imagine if we had a quarterback like Aaron Rodgers, man, this team would be fucking unstoppable. We'd be a fucking dynasty. You know? Shit, if we had Romo at the best he ever played, we'd be a fucking dynasty. But as of right now, we're stuck with Dak Prescott. Yes, I said stuck with. I fucking said it, all right? I fucking said it. You know what I'm saying? You know what? Make me eat shit, man. Make me eat shit, Dak Prescott. I want to be fucking wrong. Prove me fucking wrong, buddy. Like, I want to be fucking wrong, okay? I want to love you, man. I want a fucking Super Bowl. But right now, it hasn't ever looked to me. It hasn't ever looked like we could win a Super Bowl with Dak Prescott to me. Dak Prescott has never been anything amazing to me. Ever. Let's keep reading. Prescott connected on a few accurate deep throws to receiver Amari Cooper and Elliott, but overall the Cowboys' star quarterback looks like he took as many steps back as he did steps forward when Dallas was 3-0. The alarming part is it's the second consecutive game he's looked like this. Yeah, he's looking bad right now. I don't know what the fuck, man. Not coincidentally, he was on fire in the first 3 games against the Giants, the Washington, winless Washington. The Giants are 2-3. Washington is winless, and Miami is extremely winless. So we won games against the 3 worst teams. At least probably the 3 worst records right now. In short, it looks like Prescott is beating up on bad teams. And you're supposed to. You're supposed to beat up bad teams. Like I said, these are games that we were supposed to win. You know what I'm saying? So that's not a bad thing. Like, win the games you're supposed to win. You know what I'm saying? And then you're going to win a couple of games that could go either way. You're going to win a couple of coin flips. And, and maybe you're going to come out with a winning season. You know what I'm saying? You're going to have tough games. You're going to have easy games. Win the easy games. Win all the easy games. You're supposed to. So, yeah. Let's go. In short, it looks like Prescott is beating up on bad teams and losing to the good ones. Actually, it doesn't look like that. It is that. It is. There's no denying that. Like, you can't say there's no denying that. Thus, it's fair to ask the following question. Should the Cowboys be worried about Prescott? The answer is yes. I agree. Should have been worried from the beginning. Because, look, from the beginning, if you go back and watch Dak's rookie season, I would say somewhere deep into the season, around season 10, he played a couple of good teams. He played some really good teams that had really good defenses and put some pressure on him, and he made mistakes. We seen the real Prescott, you know what I'm saying? Let's keep reading. Prescott will have to play better. A lot better, for the Cowboys to dominate the conference the way so many of us thought they would. If he keeps playing like this in big games, Dallas won't even win the NFC East. Philadelphia will. Before the game on Sunday, I thought I was so sure we could beat the Eagles. Now I'm not 100% sure. I think it's going to be a coin flip, man. Division games are always tough. Most of the time. But I still think we can beat them. I don't think it's a guarantee anymore. You know what I'm saying? Honestly, I don't know how good the Eagles are right now. But let's keep reading. By the time Prescott pulled it together Sunday, it was too late. Dallas was 24-0 midway through the third quarter before engineering its first points. A field goal with just over 20 minutes left in the game. Prescott didn't throw his first touchdown pass, a 40-yard touchdown to Michael Gallup, until the final 2 minutes of the third quarter. The fuck out of here, man. Down early, Prescott was forced to throw, which allowed him to pile up 463 yards passing, but also saw him get picked 3 times. Let me tell you something. I've seen Tony Romo throw 500 yards without getting. Didn't get 3 picks. Didn't get picked 3 times. I think he got picked once in that game. I'd have to go back and look at the stats, but shit. Truth be told, it should have been more. But the football he floated into the hands of Green Bay cornerback Kevin King bounced off of him. That's why he's a defensive back. And another overthrow was intercepted before a Packers penalty negated it. Actually, overthrow is generous. Prescott, throwing off his back foot, just tossed it up for grabs to Randall Cobb. If you watch this game, you see, for some reason, he was very panicked almost the whole game. It looked like he was in a hurry to get rid of the ball the whole game. But the problem was that he wasn't throwing little passes that were meant to be thrown fast. So he was hurrying his throws and throwing it before guys were even ready, or he wasn't setting his feet, just like this is talking about, throwing off of his back foot. He did the same thing. He was making bad passes against excuse me. He was making bad passes against the Saints too. Underthrowing, throwing behind people. He's not accurate. Once he starts to feel any pressure, once he feels like his O-line isn't holding up, Once he feels like, the defense, once he realizes like, oh shit, this defense is breaking through, they're getting to me, I'm taking hits, he starts struggling. He does. That's the truth of it. He panics. He starts rushing. He's not, I don't understand, man. Dak Prescott was sacked 3 times on Sunday by a Packers defense that didn't allow many easy completions. I mean, fuck, man. He's not. Let's keep reading. They weren't so lucky on the next potential interception, which King did secure with about 10 minutes left. The turnover coming after Dallas had climbed within 14 effectively killed any chances of a Cowboys comeback. Prescott threw a score to Cooper a few minutes later, but it was too late. To be fair, Prescott was facing a transformed Packers culture in which defense, not offense, now dominates. Green Bay is allowing fewer than 19 points per game and entered Week 5 allowing the 3rd fewest passing yards per contest. And while it's true the Cowboys made a game out of what looked to be a blowout, the score didn't indicate what the Cowboys and their fans expect. It showed guts. Oh wait, the score didn't indicate what the Cowboys and their fans expect. It showed guts, but it also showed a lot to be unnerved about. 2 losses to 2 quality opponents due in part to a shaky performance from the quarterback is not what contenders are made of. At least this point in the season, that's how it looks. The Cowboys have guts. Prescott has guts. They were always going to make a late run through the partial comeback. They were always going to make a late run. Though the partial comeback was more about the Cowboys' defense than Prescott. But if you're the Cowboys, these past 2 games have to be unsettling. If Prescott's season goes on as it has thus far, there will be better days ahead. Games against the Jets, Giants sandwiched around a date with the Eagles would promise a 5-3 mark at the halfway point. Not bad. But then come the Vikings, the Lions, not the normal slobs they usually are, and the Patriots. I'm not worried about the Patriots. I'm really not. I'm not worried about the Patriots I expect them to score, but I'm not worried about their defense. I don't care. The Patriots play in the weakest fucking division, okay? The AFC is weak. The Patriots division is weak. The Patriots schedule is weak. I don't give a fuck how many points they're allowing. They're not going to do that to the fucking Cowboys. The Cowboys, the game against the Patriots is going to be an offensive game. So if the defense can have a good game and minimize the Patriots offense, not minimize, but just not hold them to like 20 points. And if we can come out and score some touchdowns, and actually, we just got to play good, man. If the team can come together and everybody can do their jobs, we can win that game. As far as the Vikings and the Lions, I don't know. I don't really follow the rest of the NFL much, man. I'm gonna have to look into that shit and see how they're doing. But I mean, shit. I think we can. We're gonna beat the Jets. We're gonna beat the Giants again, and we can beat the Eagles. We'll beat the Jets. We can beat the Eagles, and we'll beat the Giants again. So if that happens, I mean, we can be. What are we now? We're 3-2. Yeah, we'll be 6-2. By the time we play the Vikings, we'll be 6-2. I think we will. I think we'll win. We can win these next 3 games. I'm not worried about the Eagles. I'm really not worried about the Eagles at all. I'm just not. I don't care. Yeah, I really don't. I'm not worried about the Eagles. Like, fuck the Eagles, all right? And maybe that's just me talking as a fan, but I don't give a damn. Fuck the Eagles, all right? The Eagles ain't shit. And I mean, we can beat them. We're better than them. We can beat them. I don't care. I don't care what anybody says. All right. We just need a different game plan. Like fuck you, Jason Garrett. Just let the new guy fucking run the offense. All right. Just sit the fuck back and let's win these games. Let's see. If Prescott doesn't play better, a lot better, they could lose all three of those games. Yes, even to the 2-1-1 Lions. The Lions beat the Chargers and the Eagles and gave the Chiefs a nice fight before losing 34-30. So this story is saying that we could end up losing to the Vikings, the Lions, and the Patriots. I don't know how good the Vikings are right now. 2-1-1 is not a good record by any means, like at all. So I mean, if I'm just looking at that record, not knowing anything about the game or not knowing how the Lions have actually been playing, I mean, I think we can beat them. We have the talent to beat the Patriots if we can play how we should be playing. We're a good team. Fuck, man, we just got to get it together. What the fuck is going on? The Lions beat the Chargers and the Eagles, gave the Chiefs a nice fight before losing 34-30. That would be a problem. Yeah, if we lost all three of those games, that would be a problem. That would be a problem for a team with big ambitions. If Prescott can raise his game, it shouldn't be an issue. But after Sunday, the questions are growing about whether he can. Mike Freeman covers the... Oh, okay, yeah. The story's over right there. This is a story by Mike Freeman from Bleacher Report at Mike Freeman NFL on Twitter. So, yeah. I mean, the story raises some good points, man. It's basically, this team is talented, you know? And we really just need to get our shit together. If the team can get their shit together and play like they're supposed to, I mean, yeah, fuck Stephen A. Okay, Stephen A is such a fucking jackass. He's a fucking idiot. I mean, that's why he's on TV, though. He triggers people. Such a fucking flip-flop. Stephen A is like a fucking Patriots fan or a fucking Seahawks fan. Like, you know what I'm saying? He just goes with whichever team is winning. People swear they've been fucking Patriots fans their whole life and shit. But I mean, I think this team is young and talented, and it just feels, it almost doesn't make sense that they're not winning, and doesn't make sense that they're not good. And in my opinion, a lot of that falls on Dak, because even when the line is healthy, he's not doing what he should be doing, man. He's not delivering. You know what I'm saying? I mean, what more can you expect from what was he, 4th round pick? I mean, fuck, man. I think he's doing better than, I mean, fuck, Tom Brady was drafted in what, the 5th or 6th round? Something like that. I mean, shit, man. I don't know. Let's, but like I said, I feel like this team is very talented. They're young, they're talented. If they could just get their shit together, they can fucking win, you know? And so I hope they do, man. I hope they get their shit together. I hope Dak, I don't know. I don't expect Dak to change from one game to the next. Obviously, there are coaching issues. I think Dak is really talented, and I think with the right coach, he could have been a lot better now. I don't like Jason Garrett. I've never liked him. and he hasn't given me a reason to. I don't think they've had they. I'm not, I'm not impressed with Jason Garrett or Dak Prescott. So I mean, and from the very beginning, I haven't been. Everybody might have thought he was great because he came in and he had a. I mean, fuck, man. I hope they get it together. I hope. I really want Dak. I want Dak to be good. I fucking love the Dallas Cowboys. I've been a Dallas Cowboys fan all of my life. I don't watch other football. I don't. You know what I'm saying? Like I barely fucking watch the Super Bowl when it comes on. Like I put it on, but I'm not sitting down watching it and shit. I'm not sitting down like glued to the TV watching the whole game. But I mean, fuck, man. I hope they get their shit together. I hope Dak gets his shit together. I hope the O line can get healthy again. I hope the defense plays like we know it can play. I need this team to be as good as it is on paper. I need this team to live up to the hype. At least halfway. At least a little bit. And let's be honest, man. This team winning is not all dependent on Dak. A lot of it rides on him, you know what I'm saying? But it's not like we just need to minimize mistakes. That's all you need to do, Dak. You don't need to be fucking great, man. This team is so good that we don't need him to be great. We just need him to drive the bus. You know what I'm saying? I mean, fuck, man. Just don't throw any fucking interceptions. Maybe we can give you one every 2 games. If you keep it to 1 interception every 2 games, I think we'll be pretty fucking good. And if you can score like at least 2, maybe 3 touchdowns a game, I think we'll be pretty fucking good. And if you can throw 250 to 300 yards a game, I think we'll be pretty fucking good. Because if you can do that, and Zeke plays the way we know he can play, and you know what I'm saying, as long as the offensive line is healthy and they can hold up and Dak can play mediocrely. You know what I'm saying? We just need Dak to be good. We don't need him to be great. And we know Zeke is great. Zeke can be great. We already know that. I mean, fuck. Just shit, man. Can we just fucking get our shit together? Can the Cowboys please get their shit together? Okay? Let Kellen Moore call the fucking plays. Run the fucking ball. Don't throw any interceptions. And, fuck. Just minimize the mistakes. That's all you got to do. And we can be good. We can be great. Stick with what works. Stop being such a fucking jackass, Jason Garrett. Okay? I know what it is. Jason Garrett started calling the plays because they're doing good. With that shit that we're talking about Jason Garrett calling the plays at the end of the game, I don't know if that's true or not. Could have been something he said just because he didn't want Kellen Moore to be under fire. You know what I'm saying? But if it really was calling the plays, I know exactly why. It's because now they're doing good and people think it's because of Kellen Moore. So he's like, fuck that. This is my team. I'm going to call these fucking plays. I want to be the reason we do good. He's got Jerry syndrome. And that makes sense because he's been with Jerry pretty much his whole fucking career. I don't know who he played for. I don't know if he played for any other teams during his career as a player, but he's been with Dallas his whole career, his entire coaching career. So why wouldn't he be pretty much almost just like Jerry, and want to take all the credit? I know Jerry wants him to win because Jerry wants to be the guy that hired Jason Garrett and got us a Super Bowl. So it makes sense, man. It makes sense that they'd be the fucking same. Nobody gives a fuck who's responsible. We just want to win. Can we just fucking win, please? Can we just fucking win? please. The other news with the Dallas Cowboys thing is not exactly Dallas Cowboys news. It's about Ellen DeGeneres. Ellen DeGeneres was at the Cowboys game. I don't know if she's from Wisconsin or what. I really don't. I didn't know that. Maybe she is. I don't know. So people were talking about that, and people were wondering why she was sitting with George Bush, and I think it's stupid. Like, what the fuck? What does it matter? You know what I'm saying? Like, go the fuck out. But I seen this on Facebook, and I'm gonna play the audio. Yeah, I'm just gonna play the audio. I'm not gonna play the video. Sorry for those of you watching on YouTube, but I'm gonna play the audio.
So this weekend, I went to Dallas for the Cowboys game, and during the game, they showed a shot of George and me laughing together, and people were upset. They thought, why is a gay Hollywood liberal sitting next to a conservative Republican president? Didn't even notice I'm holding the brand new iPhone 11, and I was aware that I was going to be surrounded with people from very different views and beliefs, and I'm not talking about politics. I was rooting for the Packers, and get this, everybody in the Cowboys suite was rooting for the Cowboys. And so I had to hide my cheese hat in Portia's purse. Here's the thing. I'm friends with George Bush. In fact, I'm friends with a lot of people who don't share the same beliefs that I have. We're all different, and I think that we've forgotten that that's okay that we're all different. Just because I don't agree with someone on everything doesn't mean that I'm not going to be friends with them. When I say be kind to one another, I don't mean only the people that think the same way that you do. I mean be kind to everyone. Love Ellen. Doesn't matter.
I fucking love Ellen. I always have. I love Ellen DeGeneres. I always have. She's hilarious. If you haven't seen her last special on Netflix, go watch it. Really fucking good. You know, I've always liked watching her daytime TV show. I've always liked watching the Ellen show. And she's fucking right. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you people? Or whoever. Whoever it was that thought there was a problem for her to be sitting with George Bush watching a Cowboys game. That's stupid. That's stupid, man. When I see clips, I see stuff on Facebook sometimes, and I see clips of people saying, I don't want to hang around with people who don't think like me, blah, blah, blah. And I don't want people on my page who don't think like. Shut the fuck up, man. Okay? Shut the fuck up. You gotta be around. You can't just fucking close yourself off and just have your own set little mindset. You gotta get out of it. Like, why put yourself in a box? I've talked about that before. Why put yourself in this tiny little box where only your thoughts and your opinions and your views and block out all the other shit? Like, nah, man, that's stupid. That's stupid. Don't do that. She's right here though, man. Like, you gotta be kind to others. You know what I'm saying? I worked at a Lizzo concert. When was it? Saturday. Lizzo was here in Dallas on Saturday, and I worked it, and I worked outside. There was a big long line, so when I got there, the line was going out and was like all the way across the street, and people were blocking the road. So I got there, and they were like, hey, come on. As soon as I got there, they took me outside, and we had to like separate the line, break off the line so that people wouldn't be blocking the road. And so we kind of just cut them off in the middle, and, you know, people at the end of the line just had to go across the street, and we had to be there and make sure that the people who were still showing up went to the end of the line and didn't just try to cut off, which a lot of people did. People even saw us and were trying to get around us, and you know what I'm saying? Yeah, don't be fucking assholes, you know? Don't be fucking assholes. Like, go to the end of the fucking line. People were getting mad because I was telling them where the end of the line was, like, because I was having to come tell them, hey, the end of the line is over there. I'm sorry. Which is stupid. Like, don't be mad because you showed up late and other people showed up early and have been here waiting for hours in line because they want to be at the front or because they want to be one of the first ones in. And you show up early and you're pissed off because I'm making you go to the end of the line. Like, yeah, you're a jackass, okay? You're a jackass. Fuck you. I mean, I love you, but also fuck you. You know. That's how it is, man. That's kind of fuck. It's hard. It's hard. It's hard to love everybody. It is. It's fucking hard. All right. Like I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's hard to love everybody. Um, I wish everybody happiness though. You know what I'm saying? But I was talking, and I was some of the people out there. Well, what happened is I was standing there, and right where I was standing, there was a group of girls, and they were talking, and one girl was telling the other girl, "Don't ever get married. Don't ever have kids. Ever, 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 ever." And she wasn't like screaming at her, but I could hear what she was saying. They were talking, and she was just being pretty emotive about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I was kind of like, I looked at her, and I kind of like shook my head, like, yeah, you know. And then she seen me, and she was like, "You have kids?" She's like, "You're married and you have kids?" And I said, "Yeah, yeah." And I said, "Well, but I wouldn't say." And I told her, I said, I wouldn't say don't ever have kids and don't ever get married or don't ever get in a relationship. Because for me, I would say wait as long as you can. Because the problem wasn't that I got married and that I had kids. The problem was that I did it too young. You know what I'm saying? Too young for me. And the thing is, you don't realize that until you're older. You know what I'm saying? You don't realize that until you're older. Because when you're young, you're stupid, man. You think you know everything, and you think you know what's gonna. I mean, fuck. I was like, but I wouldn't say don't get married, and I wouldn't say don't have kids ever. I would say wait. I would say it's definitely a good idea to wait until not do it in your 20s or not in your early 20s. You know what I'm saying? Like, even a relationship. Don't how can you commit to another person when you don't even know yourself yet? You know? And when you're like 18, 19, 20 years old, you don't know yourself yet. Because you're barely getting to the age where you're starting to make decisions for yourself. You're barely getting to the age where you're starting to form your own thoughts. You're barely getting to the age where you're responsible for yourself. You're barely getting to the age where your eyes are opening up to what the world really is, to how hard everything really is, to what a struggle life is, to you're starting to get out because you can make your own decisions. You're going out and you're seeing the world for what you see the world for what it really is, and you're starting to form your own opinions, your own thoughts, your own ideas. So in this time when you're trying to figure out life and you're trying to figure out who you are and what you are, and you're trying to figure out your own ideas and what to do with yourself. Because that's what young life is. Young life is you trying to figure out what to do with yourself. So why would you then bring another human being into that when you haven't even figured yourself out yet? And then now you're adding the responsibility of having to raise, look after, and love another human being. Okay, and let's forget about, even if we're not talking about kids. You don't even know yourself yet, and you're wanting to commit to loving someone else. You haven't even really figured out how to love yourself. At 18, 19, 20 years old, you haven't even figured out how to love yourself yet, man. You know what I'm saying? Most people. I would say it's true for most people. You don't know who you are. You don't know what you really want. All you know is pretty much up until that point, almost all you know is just what you've been taught. And you're barely starting to see the world for what it is. I'm not saying that no one starts to figure it out when they're young, but starting to figure it out doesn't mean you have it figured out. It just means that you're starting to think about it. You know what I'm saying? So if you haven't figured life out yet, why would you want to commit to another person? You haven't even figured yourself out. You haven't even figured out what you are. The person you're committing to hasn't figured out who they are or what you are. You know what I'm saying? You have to let yourself grow. You have to let yourself grow, learn to be happy with yourself, learn to love yourself. Um, Figure out what it is you like, figure out what it is you're passionate about. And I'm not saying don't date, but I don't think that when you're young is a good time to be in a relationship. That's just my opinion. That's my opinion. I'm not telling anybody, you know what I'm saying? Look, I've said it before, and I can admit that I have strong opinions, and I can admit that it's when you're talking about things, it's hard to be objective. You know what I'm saying? It starts like, I look back at things and think to myself, fuck, like, shit, I went in a little too hard right there. You know what I'm saying? Like, as far as when I'm talking to other people, or as far as when I'm talking to other people about my opinions, or my thoughts, or, you know what I'm saying? But those, at the end of the day, they're just my opinions and they're just my thoughts. They really don't mean, they don't mean much. I have some life experience, and you know what I'm saying? I've been through stuff, but at the end of the day, it's just my views. It's just my experience. It's what I've gone through. It's what I see. It's how I feel. It's how I think. That's all it is. And I can talk to you about it, but I got to work on not trying to push it like it's fact, or like you have to. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to do anything. All you have to do is figure out what makes you happy and do that. But that being said, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's hard to figure out what makes you happy when you're in a relationship, because you're not yourself. You're not fully yourself. You're not 100% yourself when you're in a relationship, because when you're in a relationship and you commit to someone, you can't you're not making your own decisions on your own, because your decisions affect the person. They affect your partner. So anytime you make a decision, you can't really just go out and decide on your own. You have to take into account how that decision affects your partner. And if you have kids, you have to take into account how that decision affects your kids. And you have to take into account how it affects the people around you that you love. So that's what I'm saying. Like, you have to take time for it's important for you as a person to have time, to take time for yourself on your own. There should be a period in your life where you're making your own decisions for yourself on your own. And you should be trying to figure out what it is that makes you happy. And you shouldn't be searching, and it shouldn't be another person. Go out, figure out figure out what makes you happy, figure out what you're passionate about. And when you go out and you look for these things, when you're searching for passion, and when you're searching for happiness, and when you're trying to figure out what it is you want to do, you usually meet other people that have the same interest. And then that's where, instead of going out and finding someone and trying to somehow force them to like the same things you like, or trying to push them into what you're passionate about, like, find your passion, find what makes you happy, figure out how to be happy on your own. And when you do those things, you usually find someone with similar interests. Like, when you're out doing your hobbies and you're out doing your passions and you're out, you know what I'm saying, and you start to meet people that are like-minded, you can usually meet someone who likes the same things you do, who's passionate about the same things you are. And I mean, I don't have to be exactly the same, but it's definitely a great thing for you and your partner to be on the same page and have the same interest. And so why not go find the interest first, do those things, and then you meet people doing those things, instead of trying to find a person make you happy and trying to figure stuff out later. It's not the way you do it. But what I was saying to them is, exactly what I said was I wouldn't say don't ever have kids or don't ever get married. I would say wait. Enjoy your life. Do everything you want to do. Go everywhere you want to go. You know what I'm saying? Figure out what makes you happy before you do have kids. Honestly, before you get in a relationship, figure out how to make yourself happy before you get in a relationship, because it's so hard to love someone else when you haven't figured out how to love yourself. It's so hard to love someone else and feel like you have to make someone else happy when you can't even be happy on your own, or to depend on someone else for your happiness. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's hard. It's extremely difficult. But you got to figure out what makes you happy. You got to make your own decisions. You got to and that's what I told him. I was like, "Look, don't just wait." I would say definitely don't do it in your 20s, or at least not your early 20s. I think if you wait till about 26, 27, 28, I think that's a good age to start trying. That's a good place to maybe start trying to look for someone to be. Maybe it just depends where you're at in your life. Are you happy? Do you love yourself? Do you have a passion? You know what I'm saying? Are you yourself? And then what I told them was, if I had waited, I said, wait as long as you can. And I did say, don't do it in your 20s. And then my main point was, if I could have waited, I would have been better for my kids, and I would have been more emotionally ready, mentally ready, and just more ready as a person to raise and groom another human being. You know, I have a friend, you know what I'm saying? I have a really good friend of mine. We've had that conversation before. He was like, I don't want kids because I'm not ready for that. I'm not ready to raise another child. Like, I don't want to fuck them up. And that's a great perspective. A lot of people don't even think of that. A lot of people don't think about the fact that, you know, I have emotional problems. I'm not even fully happy with myself yet. And I haven't figured out who I am, and I haven't figured out what I love, and I haven't figured out even what happiness is or what makes me happy. So why would I want to have a kid? And then, because once you have children, your life isn't your own anymore. Your life is really about your kids. Like, it has to be. You know what I'm saying? Most of your focus is going to go to your kids, raising them, supporting them, providing for them, nurturing them, teaching them, you know what I'm saying, instilling good values, showing them how to be emotionally in control, showing them how to be in control of their emotions, you know. And when you're young, you don't know how to do that. So why would you be trying to teach someone else how to do it? You know what I'm saying? Young people are not in control of their emotions. They're not. Especially if you come from like a broken family. You know? I mean, shit. So I would say just wait. That's what I said. I said I wouldn't say don't have them. I would say wait as long as you can, because that's gonna be what's best for your kids. You know what I'm saying? If I had waited, like I said, if I had waited, I could be a better father. You know what I'm saying? I would have been more emotionally prepared, more mentally prepared, more financially prepared. I could give them a better life. You know what I'm saying? My kids right now are living a better life than I'm living. But I would still want to be able to give them a better life in all aspects, because, you know, it's still a struggle and it's hard. I mean, I'm happy to be able to say that I can give my kids a better life than what I live, but, you know. And so yeah. And then I had to come back, you know. I had to come back because someone said, what's that thing that said? Someone said something about a story or something they seen online. One of them said, I seen this thing online that says that all parenting ideology is stupid ideology. And so I said, well, you could remove the word parenting from that and it would still be true. And everybody started laughing. They were like, whoa. I was like, she said ideology. I say ideology, which, whatever. I don't think it matters. And I was like, well, yeah, if you remove the word parenting from that, it's still true. All ideology is stupid ideology. You know what I'm saying? Because the ideology is basically an idea that you're trying to press on someone else. And you got to let people have their own ideas. You know what I'm saying? You got to let people live their own lives, make their own decisions, and have their own ideas and think for themselves. And so, saying that, like I said that, and everybody was kind of like, whoa. Like, I don't know. Somehow they were impressed with me. They were like, wow. And this one young girl, she was like, he is woke. She was like, at a Lizzo concert. The security at the Lizzo concert is woke. So it was funny. It was funny. And I said, that's funny because I was just listening to a Joe Rogan podcast about woke ideology. And, I came back and I said, I want to say one more thing. I kind of like stepped out. Like it had been some time had passed and they were still waiting to go in. And I said, I want to say one more thing. I said, in all of our wokeness, let us always remember that we cannot tell other people how to live their lives. And the reason I said that is because this person who's there telling this other person, don't ever get married, don't ever have kids, don't ever do that, don't ever do this. Like just saying it to them. And it's like, well, okay, that's fine that you feel like that, but just remember that we cannot tell other people how to live their lives. We have to let people make their own decisions. We have to let people have their own opinions. We have to let people have their own ideas. We have to let people live their own lives the way they want to live it. And, and as I'm saying that, I understand that I'm also speaking to myself. Because I know that sometimes I talk to people and, I'm a passionate person. And I'm hard-headed and I'm stubborn. You know what I'm saying? And the things I say don't always come across the right way. They don't always come across how I intend them to come across. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes I do say stuff and I say it as if it's, no, this is the right way. And I got to start trying, I do try to break that habit, but it's hard. You're talking to people and you don't agree with what they're saying. It's hard to stand there and be like, and not be like, no, you're wrong. And not understand that you're wrong for even saying that. That's difficult. It's difficult to look at yourself and be like, fuck, I just told this person they're wrong because of their ideas and their thoughts and their opinions. And that's stupid. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, yeah, I know I say a lot of stuff on here, but please understand that these are just my opinions. These are just my thoughts. These are just my views. I'm not telling anybody to be like me or to live like me or to follow me or to do what I say or to live like I've lived. Like, don't. I'm not here to change anybody's opinions or to change how anybody thinks or anybody. Like, I'm not here to force my opinions and my thoughts and my views on anybody. You know what I'm saying? And I'm sorry because I will admit that it kind of does come across like that sometimes. If you're a Christian, be a Christian. If you're a Catholic, as much as I disagree with it, me and myself, I can't support the Catholic Church ever in any way. You know what I'm saying? After everything that's come out about them. But that's me. You got to live your own life. You got to make your own decisions. You got to have your own ideas. And you got to figure out what makes you happy. At the end of the day, that's what it comes down to. What makes you happy? What are you passionate about? How do you think you should be living? Live your life. Be your own person. Do what makes you happy. That's the most important thing. Figure out what makes you happy and do what makes you happy. Live your own life. So, I mean, We can have opinions, we can advise, we can counsel, but just always realize that at the end of the day, a person's decisions are their own, you know? And that's really the best. I mean, a person's decisions are their own, man. You got to live your own life, you know? So, yes, in all of our wokeness, whatever that means, I really don't even know what the fuck that means. Let us always remember that we must let people live their own lives and make their own decisions. You know? And it's hard. It's definitely difficult when you've lived life and you've been through certain things and it seems to look like other people are going through these things and just not. It's difficult when you're older and you have experience and you're talking to young people. It's difficult to not want to tell people, what they should do because you've already been through it. But you got to let them live their own lives, man. Everybody has to have their own opinions and everybody's entitled to their own opinions. So, yes, just always remember that we got to let people live their own lives. What else? There was some Fortnite news. This was interesting to me. We're gonna talk about it right quick. Try to keep it short, I guess. Okay, so this is from Fox News. It's just a story. It's about Fortnite. So apparently, someone is suing Fortnite. Here's the headline: Fortnite company may face class action lawsuit over claims game as addictive as cocaine. Holy shit! Listen. Well, fuck. I guess there's a lot of adults that play video games, man. There's a lot of adults that love video games. You know what I'm saying? But I don't think any grown ass people are trying to get in on this lawsuit. I would definitely say that this is a parent child thing. This has to be some parent because there's no. I'm not going to say no, but I would say most adults who play video games don't feel like they I've seen some posts on Twitter and a lot of them are talking about how stupid this is, how stupid this lawsuit is, how ridiculous it is. I think we all know that video games are addictive. Like, are we just realizing that? Like, I think it's really stupid to single out this one video game. You know what I'm saying? Because video games have always been addicted. I don't think anybody's questioning that. Let's read. But yeah, man. I mean, honestly, like video games are different now. I think people are playing different video games for different reasons. So people are trying to get as good as they can. Let's read the fucking story. Fuck this. The maker of Fortnite may face a class action lawsuit in Canada. Okay, in Canada. Not in the US. That's kind of weird. You know what I'm saying? Makers of Fortnite may face a class action lawsuit in Canada after two parents of teenage sons alleged last week the company purposely designed the multiplayer video game to be as addictive as cocaine, according to reports. And there's a kind of a little headline here: 16-year-old wins $3 million playing Fortnite. That's like a link to another story. That's an old ass story. It's probably from the World Cup. A lot of kids won a lot of money playing Fortnite from the World Cup. The Montreal-based law firm Calyx Legal filed a motion in Quebec Superior Court Thursday on behalf of two parents who approached the firm separately about their 10 and 15-year-old sons who they claim developed a severe dependence on the game. USA Today reported. Okay, like honestly, like this is already kind of stupid. I fucking hate this shit. All right, listen. My son spent most of his fucking summer playing Fortnite. Okay, he fucking loves the game. All right, he doesn't play anything else. He doesn't play any other video game. You know what I'm saying? There's other shooter games. He doesn't play them. He doesn't play any sports games. He doesn't play shit. But guess what? Like, he's still my son. As of right now, he hasn't played in about. Well, he did play. He has played. But kind of grounded him because he wasn't doing good in school. And, you know, I'll admit that honestly, school's not that important to me. Like, government schooling is not that important to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know that he's not. What school is now, they're not teaching him any fucking life skills. All right. The best thing he's getting from school is a social aspect where he's getting out and he's in amongst other people. He's learning how to, deal with his peers and all that stuff. But I mean, he's obviously not learning any life skills at school. At least not from the curriculum. You know what I'm saying? The skills you learn, the life skills you learn in school aren't coming from what they're teaching you. They aren't coming from what the teachers are teaching you from the books. You learn math, you learn how to read, and that's basically, those are the most important things they're teaching you at school. Other than that, it's just social interactions. You're learning from the social interactions that you're having with other kids. But look, my son, we found out he was doing bad because he wasn't turning in projects. Like, he was doing the work and he just wasn't turning them in. So I don't know what's going on with that. We've talked to him. But guess what? I took away Fortnite. I told him he couldn't play anymore. And he didn't play for like 2 weeks. And then one night I told him, hey, man, do you want to play a few games? Because I wanted to play. I wanted to play with him. I was like, let's play. And we played a few games. We played for like maybe 30 minutes, maybe an hour at most. And we turned it off again, and he hasn't played again in over a week now. You know, and guess what? He's fine. Like, he's not struggling. He's not, you know what I'm saying? He's going out. He goes outside. He likes going outside. You know what I'm saying? He likes doing other stuff, but this is probably his favorite thing to do. And you know what? I relate to him because when I was a kid, yeah, I liked playing video games and I liked watching TV. I was a TV baby, man. I think I talked about that in like one of the first 2 episodes. I was a TV baby. I watched a lot of fucking TV. I used to know what time it was by what was on. Like, I had a schedule that I watched TV on every day. I would come home. I'd watch Power Rangers. I used to watch Full House. I used to watch all Urkel, like Family Matters, all those shows. All I did most of the time when I was a kid, most of my time went to watching TV. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, I watched a shitload of TV. It's what I did with most of my free time. I wasn't always, you know what I'm saying? Is I watched TV and I played video games when we had them, which we didn't always have them. You know what I'm saying? But when we did and when they were around, I played them. And I'm sure I watched too much TV and I played too much video games. But I mean, I get it. I was a kid once. Why am I going to get mad at my son for wanting to do the things that he likes to do? Same kind of shit that I did when I was a kid. I'm not going to get mad at him. But if I feel like he needs a break, guess what I'm going to take? I'm going to make him take a break. He's my son. And on that note, I was talking to my wife about it, man. I was like, look, like, video games are different. There's opportunity. There's a whole lot more opportunity in video games now. You know what I'm saying? And it probably shouldn't, and it in my opinion, it definitely shouldn't be the only thing that he's doing. But what video games are now, if you can be really good at them and if you can excel, you know what I'm saying? There's a lot of opportunity. You can make a lot of money. It can be a career. Like, it's a real thing now. Like, anybody who doesn't understand, like, you can't deny that. Like, you can say what you want to say and talk shit, and oh, you can't make a career at. No, yes, you can. Like nowadays, you can. Yes, you can. All right. It's not any different than people who play fucking fantasy football. Like, come on now. Like, what the fuck are you doing? You're not doing anything. You're sitting on a fucking couch at your fucking computer with your fucking phone, watching football. People send fucking NFL players death threats because they fuck up their fantasy football. And you want to get mad at kids for playing video games and wanting to make money doing them, and because there's opportunity to make them. But this is what my point was going to be, is that the way video games are now and the opportunity there is for you to have the incredible amount of success and the financial freedom that can come for them because of what they are and the way they are now, kids want to be good at them because they want a shot at that. They want an opportunity to at that financial success. So what do you do when you want to be really good at something and you want to be the best and you want to turn it into something that can change your life? It becomes an obsession. And maybe video games is not the best thing to be obsessed with or to make a passion out of. I mean, I don't know, man. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I just think that you need to have a balance. A counterpoint to that is to actually be great and be the best and actually find huge success in anything. You have to be obsessed. And as good as kids are at these video games now, if you ever, I don't know, if probably a lot of people have never watched pro video games before, have never watched professional video game players play video games. They're insanely good. Like, it's ridiculous. And that's how good you have to be to actually make something out of it. And to be that good, it only comes from putting in the hours that it takes to actually be that good. Just like anything else. You know, I talked about my son playing Fortnite before. I talked about him being a controller player. And I talked about how I wanted him to learn how to play with the keyboard and mouse because I think that that's the best way. That is subjective. You know what I'm saying? Because there are pros who play with controllers and they're some of the best in the world. But when you look at the best in the world and you look at people who win consistently and who always come out on top, most of them, there's only a few players who really, the only really good controller player I know who is constantly coming out like on top is a kid named Aiden. He's grown. I mean, he's an adult, but he's young, so he's still a kid. He's young. He's like 20, 21 maybe. Like, there's no way he's older than 21. He might even be like 19, somewhere around there. And he plays on a controller, and he's the only guy I've ever seen who places top 10 in any of these huge tournaments or any of these huge competitive Fortnite events. You know what I'm saying? He's the only guy who you ever see on a controller who places amongst the top players in the world. It's very rare. The best players in the world are all keyboard and mouse players. And I've talked about that before. My son didn't want to learn how to play with a keyboard and mouse, so I took away his controller for 3 weeks. You know what I'm saying? I'm into gaming. I play Fortnite. I play another game called Apex Legends. It's the same style of game as far as being a battle royale and a shooter. The difference between Apex Legends and Fortnite, Apex Legends is a lot more fast paced and there's no building. In Fortnite, you can build your own cover. You can build walls, ramps. You have a pyramid piece that's used as a roof or whatever. You can edit walls and ramps and all those things to get really good at those things and to become pro level, you know, which we would call elite, what we would call elite level. It has to be something that you do every day, and it has to be something that you put a lot of hours into, and it takes work. It's not It's not any different than anything else that anybody wants to be good at. It's not any different. The more you do it, the better you get. The difference in video games now and video games when I was a kid or even before that is that there's more opportunity to there's more opportunity for financial success. You know what I'm saying? There's more opportunity, there's more career opportunity. And I've talked to my son before. I said gaming is not just gaming, man. Gaming can be coding and learning how to develop games. Like if you really love it, let's learn about the tech of it. I built his computers. Like they helped me with that. I bought all the parts and they put a lot of stuff together. They helped me put a lot of the stuff together. They were with me. They seen me build it. Some of the stuff like I made them do, I was with them. I watched them. They put pieces in. They put parts in. They connected wires. All that stuff. We did that stuff together, man. And because I didn't want them to just be playing video games, Even if that's all they did, there's huge opportunity. So I don't mind him playing video games. I do know that in order for him to be healthy, just mentally and physically, and you know what I'm saying, emotionally, I know he does need to do other things. So we've been talking about that lately. Lately, I've been talking to my wife and expressing how I want to go back to jiu-jitsu soon. I've been talking to them, and I know they want to go back. I know they miss it. And recently again, like I wanted to start letting him play again. And more stuff came up that about work that he wasn't. And so I've had a few serious conversations with him and his sister about, look, you don't get to do just what you want to do. You don't get to, that's not how life works. If you only do what you want to do, your life's gonna suck. If you only do things that you like doing and you only do things that you want to do because it's the only things you like doing, your life's gonna suck. You got to learn to embrace stuff that's difficult. You got to learn you're gonna have to do things you don't want to do, because even when you love something, you might start doing something new and then be like, oh shit, I love this. And then you start to do it, and maybe you do love it and you are passionate about it. But even that sometimes gets hard. Even when you love something, like the shit gets difficult and it might start to get boring and it might start to get repetitive, and everything has its lulls. And you got to learn to push through that shit, man. You got to learn to push through that shit. And even when you don't feel like doing it, if it's something that you're really passionate about and it's something that you want to make into you want to turn into something real, you got to learn to push through the hard times. You got to learn to do the shit, like to just get comfortable doing stuff you don't want to do, comfortable doing difficult stuff, because otherwise your life's going to suck. Your life's going to suck, man. I know people think, like, people who don't know, I know you think that playing video games and being a pro is fucking easy, but it's not. It's really fucking difficult. I watch these guys on Twitch sometimes. We got into Twitch for a while. My son's more into YouTube and stuff now, but we got into Twitch for a while. I still watch Twitch sometimes. I don't really have time anymore. But it's crazy. Like, you watch these guys, and honestly, just streaming, when 30,000 people are watching you and all of them can talk to you in chat while you're live, in live chat, like they're watching you stream live and they're chatting to you and you're reading it. And a lot of this shit is not positive. A lot of this shit is negative. There's this thing that kids do now called stream sniping, where they try to get into your game and they're watching you so they know where you are, so they have an unfair advantage. And I see a lot of these guys struggle with that because it takes the fun out of the game, because they can't even play the game they like playing anymore, because now they have to worry about people watching them and trying to get into their game and knowing exactly where they are. And that shit fucks with their heads. And fuck, man, it's a struggle, just like anything else. It's not easy. It's a fame thing. It's a fame thing. I know people think being famous is easy or it's not difficult, but it's a huge mental. It's taxing mentally. And the same thing with video games and with streaming and content creating. Like it can be mentally taxing, man. Like don't read the comments. The worst part of Twitch, I think, is the chat. Chat is fucking toxic. And that shit, man. But it's just part of what you have to do to be a successful streamer, content creator. You don't have to stream to be a pro. I think, as far as that goes, I think for professional players, maybe it might be good for them. But that's how you get known. That's how you get that's how you grow. It's all kind of a part of the same thing. That's crazy, man. But look, my son hasn't played regularly. My son's only played a few hours in like the past 3 weeks, maybe. And, sometimes he has to go over to his friend's house. And you know what? I know when he goes over there, he's probably playing. But he doesn't spend a lot of time over there. You know what I'm saying? I know when he goes over there, he's probably playing with his friend on PS4. But he's not playing like he was. And, it's not really a problem. But if you don't want your kids to play Fortnite, like, take away the fucking Fortnite. How can you as a fucking... This is fucking bullshit. I haven't even read the whole story, but I can already tell it's bullshit. Let's keep reading. The suit, which has yet to be approved by the court, seeks to hold the US-based video game publisher Epic Games Inc., as well as its Canadian affiliate based in British Columbia, accountable for using psychologists and statisticians to develop the most addictive game possible. Is that fucking true? Holy shit. But I think that's something that I wouldn't doubt if that's something that people have always done. They do the same thing with food. They do their best to try to make it addictive. Yeah, but they do the same thing with food. I was listening to an episode of Joe Rogan. I was listening to an episode of the Joe Rogan Experience a while back, probably over a year ago. And they were kind of talking about this as far as food goes. It was a guy, I don't even remember who it was, and I don't remember what the exact topic of the entire show was. But I do know that at one point they were talking about the fact that food companies make food to be addictive. They were talking about how they make it to activate, to hit like more than one set of taste buds. So the idea, so all that stuff about sweet and salty and hot and all those things, spicy and sweet, the different flavor combinations, they activate more than one set of taste buds in the mouth. And that's why when you eat something like that, like what they talk about when they market it and they say, bet you can't eat just one, they mean that shit. Because they designed it like that. Food is not like made or grown or just it's literally designed to be addictive so that you want it more and you eat as much of it as possible because that's how they make money. So to say that they make it addictive, I mean, addiction is just desire. Is appeal. You know what I'm saying? And it's a company's job to make their product. Business is business. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, to be honest with you. And when someone makes a product, they want it to be as appealing as possible. They want people to play it as much as possible. If we're talking about food, eat it as much as possible. Anything. Like they want you to consume their product. They want to make products that consumers want to consume constantly because that's how they make the most money. So it's stupid. Like if we're barely realizing this, then what the fuck is wrong with you? It's stupid. Let's keep reading. The addiction to the game Fortnite has real consequences on the lives of players, many of whom have developed problems such that they do not eat, do not shower, and no longer socialize, the lawsuit states. Moreover, rehabilitation centers specifically dedicated to addiction to Fortnite have opened all over the world, particularly in Quebec and Canada, to treat people for addiction. Okay, that's stupid. That's really stupid because what you're saying about people not wanting to eat, not wanting to shower, not wanting to socialize, those are all signs of depression. So we weren't worried about depression until it had something to do with video games. This is all bullshit, man. This is a bullshit ass lawsuit. Like, why aren't we talking about fucking depression? I'll admit that, you know what? Staying inside, playing video games, not going outside, not getting vitamin D from the sun, that shit leads to depression. It'll make you start to feel bad about yourself. And you know what I'm saying? Like, there are things that human beings require. Physical stress is one of them. Like, working out, basically. People require some kind of physical stress. People require human contact. People require sunlight. These are all things that human beings require. So I mean, why aren't we talking about those things? Why the fuck are parents getting mad at a video game company for not telling their kids to stop playing games for a little while and go outside? What the fuck is wrong with y'all? How about you be some good fucking parents? How about, you do your fucking job instead of trying to blame everybody else? Instead of trying to blame. This is the same fucking bullshit with people suing McDonald's. This already fucking happened. This is the same fucking dumb shit that happened when people tried to sue McDonald's for being obese. And they won, right? This is fucking stupid. Be a fucking parent. Take care of your kids. Let's keep reading. Calix legal attorney Alessandro Esposito Alessandra Esposito Chartrand, I'm going to guess it's Chard CH, told the Canadian Global News that the lawsuit stems back to the same legal basis as a Quebec Superior Court ruling in 2015 that determined tobacco companies were responsible for disclosing the health risks of using their products. The lawsuit also noted the World Health Organization last year declared video game addiction, I'm guessing that's a typo, video game addiction or game disorder a disease. The game is free to use but requires players purchase virtual currency to buy accessories and other add-ons for their virtual players. The game is free to use and the add-ons are purely aesthetic. You don't need them to play the game. They're purely something that people like to have. They're like fucking they're like LED lights on a car. You know what I'm saying? That's all it is. It's like a nice paint job. Your car doesn't need it to go faster, but you want to look nice, right? That's all the extra stuff. It's just skins, and they have toys now, and they have pickaxes, so they have different ones that it's dumb. It's stupid. This is stupid. Let's keep reading. The defendants use the same tactics as the creators of slot machines or variable reward games to ensure the dependence of its users. The lawsuit, which was translated from French, alleges children are particularly vulnerable to this manipulation since their self-control system in the brain is not developed enough. This is why kids have parents? Isn't it the parents' job to make sure that kids don't get addicted to this shit? Or that they don't spend all of their time doing this shit? Isn't the mental health of your kids your responsibility? Just like the physical health? And just like the emotional control? Like, isn't all that shit the responsibility of the parents to teach their children? Are you fucking kidding me right now? You know what the fucked up part of this is? These people are going to win this fucking case, man. These people are going to win this fucking case. That's the end of the story. These people are going to win this fucking case, and it's bullshit. But this is all stupid, man. This is stupid. This is fucking people trying to get over. This is, you know what? Like, take the fucking video games away, all right? Take your kids' video games away. Remove the apps. put the parental stuff on there, the parental controls. Like, they're your kids. Like, obviously, yes, they're highly influenceable. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, yes, they're vulnerable. I mean, yes, they don't have the self control system is not developed yet. Like, that's why they have fucking parents. All right, stop being fucking assholes. Stop being lazy fucking parents. Take care of your kids. Let them play video games, but don't let them play so much that they get addicted. Are you fucking kidding me right now? This is stupid. This is the same as, like, your parents, you're supposed to teach your kids, like, hey man, gotta have balance. It's okay to play video games, but you can't play them all the time. It's okay to eat food, but you can't eat bad food all the time. You need to work out. You need to go outside. You need to get some sun in. You need physical activity, which I said, work out. Like, come on now. Like, we're mad because people are trying to make their products more appealing to consumers. That's what they're supposed to do, okay? Look, we can't complain about businesses not being ethical. You know what I'm saying? And not wanting to make food that's healthy for us, and not wanting to make stuff that helps us live a balanced life. That's bullshit, all right? We already know we live in capitalism. Pretty much rules the world now. You know what I'm saying? And so, in a capitalist society, the idea is to create products that people want to use all the time. We want consumers to consume. We want consumers to consume our products. That's what business is. I mean, that's the truth of it. So, if you're talking about your kids, you have to be a fucking responsible parent. You got to be a good parent. The reason people are getting pissed off is because, they can't get off of their own fucking phones, and they can't get off of their own fucking computers, and they can't get off of their own fucking devices and actually talk to their kids, spend time with their kids, and make sure their kids are doing what the fuck they're supposed to be doing. So they're mad because, their kids are fucking playing this game all the time and they're not taking a shower. I make my kids take a shower, man. I will go to get off the game and go take a shower now. I'll turn it off. I don't care. You know what I'm saying? He plays. I don't care if he plays, but I tell him all the time. I talk to him. I go in there. I check on him. I see what's going on. I try and see what he's watching on YouTube. I play with him, because I want to know who he's playing with, and what kind of stuff they talk about. And sometimes they don't even realize that I'm his dad. Like, literally, sometimes they'll be like, well, who is this guy? And sometimes I'll have been playing with him for a while. And finally, Nick will be like, it's my dad. Or sometimes he'll say it right away. He's like, it's my dad, But, I mean, I try to be as involved as I can. And I'm not perfect, you know what I'm saying? But we can't be mad at companies for creating products that people want to consume all the time. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's our responsibility. We have to take responsibility for ourselves and our children, and we have to be responsible. Like, we have to teach our kids to be responsible and live balanced, and teach them that, hey, look, you need to be healthy. You need physical activity. You need to work out. You need to get out and get some sun. You know what I'm saying? So you can't just spend all your time playing this video game. I understand you like it or love it or whatever. I understand it's cool. It's a good game. Like me, from my perspective, I played it before. I like it too. But for you to be healthy, like mentally and physically, you can't just do this all the time. You got to take care of yourself. You have to be hygienic. You got to take a shower. You got to clean your room. Go outside for a little bit, soak in some sun. This case is bullshit. This right here is bullshit. This is fucking lazy ass fucking parents. It's dumb, man. This is the same, like I said, it's the same bullshit with the parents the sued fucking McDonald's. It's really the same shit. Blaming other people for your bad parenting skills. That's what this is. This is parents getting mad at companies for them not parenting correctly. And just like anything else, I mean, that's my opinion, but whatever, that's how I feel. And I think a lot of people agree with me. Obviously, some people will disagree with me. Some people will agree with me. Some people won't. But, yeah. Well, Holy shit! I didn't realize how long this episode had gone. We're coming up on 2 hours. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, man. This is episode 18. You know, I'm trying to be consistent as I can. Trying to get at least 1 or 2 episodes out every week. Obviously, there's not a specific schedule. I do them when I can. I just want to say thank you guys for listening. I love you guys. I wish you all much happiness and success. Like I said, you know what I'm saying? And all of our wokeness, whatever that means, I'm not even sure what the fuck that means. Just remember that we cannot tell other people how to live their lives. And let me just remind you again that I really don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? I'm still learning. I'm always thinking, and that's what I encourage y'all to do. You know, come create your own ideas, have your own thoughts, make your own decisions, be responsible for yourself and obviously your kids, your children. Teach them to be responsible for themselves, you know? Teach them to think for themselves, teach them to make their own decisions, teach them good, you know, whatever you feel your good morals are, instill good values in them. And just keep in mind that as they get older, they need to, that's the thing, as they get older, they have to learn to make their own decisions and be responsible for themselves. So begin to encourage that now as a child, you know? That's my opinion. That's what I think. But again, thank you guys for listening. I love you all. This has been the IDKWITA podcast. My name is Nick Vasquez, and I don't know what I'm talking about. Bye.